to be back in the saddle again.
The prodigal son returns.
The year is 1955. You just got married to your beautiful mistress who looks just as fine as prime Marilyn Monroe. You want to go on a good honeymoon, but you got to find the right roadster to take her in. You don't want no basic Corvette, Thunderbird. They're just not good enough for her. You want something a little more special, just to show her just how special she is. You want to get a car to match that. So you go for none other than the Studebaker Speedster. Now, the Studebaker Speedster, being number 99 on the list, finally glad to be back to make another video, by the way, just so happens to be the only year they made them was 1955. After Chevy came out with the Corvette, Ford was racing to make something kinda to compete with it, but that's a whole nother video anyway. They made the Ford Thunderbird, and there was just an untapped market it seemed like Americans were missing on. They needed some sort of roadster to compete with all the European models. Studebaker typically made, you know, sedans, trucks, and just the most absurd shape you've ever seen. But probably my favorite car that I've ever seen by them was the Studebaker Speedster. Now, the Studebaker Speedster was a two-door model of what they called the President. And they wanted to make a smaller, more compact car to compete with the Corvette and the Thunderbird. So they chopped off a door, smushed the wheelbase, and called it good. Now, there wasn't a whole lot of information on these. You know, most of the time you go to Wikipedia, you see a 1,000,000-page paper that you go through, but this one looked more like what I would submit in English class when a paper was due at midnight. There was maybe 3 paragraphs, so not a whole lot of information on this thing. I mean, obviously it was based off the President model, so do with that what you will. They only made 2,215 of them, was all that was sold. So to get your hands on one of these puppies, back in 1955, you had to have $3,300. In today's money, $38,000. So there's a good reason why they didn't sell as well. Kind of a steep price to pay, even today's money. I mean, obviously most vehicles are upwards of $60,000 today. Now, some cool facts about the Speedster, obviously really hard to find. All Speedsters came in a two-tone paint. One of my favorites being what they called lemon lime, which was a green and yellow, kind of Sprite inspired. Odd color, would not work today, but it's the most 1950s thing you've ever seen. Also, take a second to appreciate the bodywork on this car. I think that's why I put it on this list. Not a well-known car, but I just think it's absolutely beautiful. There was also a 3-tone paint option if you wanted to spend a little bit more money, I suppose, and get an extra color, but it's not like they sold a whole lot anyway. Now, the only powertrain option was a 259 cubic inch, 4.2 liter V8, packing a mighty 185 horsepower. Not a whole lot, but for its time, not too bad. I mean, it's 1955. Most things are just big, bulky, and this thing was also small and light. So it could cruise a little bit more in your common car. Now, it also was available, you could get it in a 3-speed manual or a 3-speed automatic. At the end of its run, Studebaker and Packard had kind of done a merger deal where they were making most of the same cars because they had to make budget cuts. And it was replaced by the Studebaker Packard Hawk series. Pretty nice car too, but I liked the Speedster just a little bit better. I felt like it looked a lot nicer. So that's why it made it on this list, and the Hawk did not. Now, the price points for one of these things, they are slightly rare, and in my opinion, very overpriced, but say you're contemplating getting a nice car from the 50s. First up, we have obviously they're all gonna be 1955. This one, all red, pretty good looking, pretty nice shape. Stock engine, I believe. Manual transmission, the manual 3-speed, for $23,000. Not horrible. Good tires, BF Goodrich on 15s. They say mechanically sound, an American classic. Attractive. However, the last one is my favorite. This absolutely stunning Studebaker here for $51,000, $51,900, so pretty much 52. for $52,000. Located in Illinois. Beautiful color, in excellent condition, they say. And coral is what they call the exterior color. Very pretty, even though I'm looking at it in black and white. I remember what it looks like. It's amazing. And of course they come out right over saying how rare it is, basically meaning they should charge you more. Wow, a slick looking car up front. The slanted grille, low slung hood, and slanted windshield, and C-pillar back to the sloped trunk line, and they just run on sentence, dude. Enough of the ands. Still, definitely my favorite. Obviously, I wouldn't pay $51,000 for a car when you could buy a new Mustang for pretty much that price. But if you want to turn heads, this is the way to do it. Real quick thank you for you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I understand this video probably isn't as long as the International Scout video. And I also understand it's been at least a month, maybe a month and a half since I last uploaded. It's been extremely cold here in Michigan, and it's just starting to warm up. It's early March, and it's 60 degrees out right now. Obviously, I'm in a short sleeve. So in these warmer months, I'm gonna try to promise you guys, I'm gonna try to get back to that one a week. If not, I apologize, just know I am still researching over these cold winters and slowly, surely making progress to the point where I can just rep them out. I'm really excited about the next one. This one I wasn't so excited about. Obviously, beautiful car. I think I had to put a Studebaker on the list, and this was my personal favorite. Some of you guys may say, oh, there's funkier looking ones, which I know I could have put on this list, but this one spoke to me. I don't know, something about the just straight 1950s roadster vibes. So without a doubt, stay tuned for next week. I'll see you guys later.